Here's everybody's right.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, you can just sit wherever you like.
Wow. You guys. Molly.
Are they going to give us costumes?
Okay.
What about makeup?
The director, Mr. Allen, will be here in 1 minute.
Okay, what do we say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I wonder how many cameras they'll use. I could run a camera. No, you couldn't. Yes, I could.
Okay, shh. Now all of your focus is on me and all of your tongues are on pause, so shh. Okay, good. Now we all know what an honor it is for our children's choir to be asked to take part in Bible Man's new video.
Yeah! Miss Hamilton,
Yes, Taylor.
may I ask the engineer whether they'll be recording video sound on Dolby Pro Logic or 5.1 digital?
Taylor, promise me you're not going to pester anyone. Now, these people are going to be working and we shouldn't get in their way, okay? Okay. So, can anyone tell us what our motto is going to be?
I know.
Okay, Amy, you tell us.
What would Jesus do?
Very good, Amy. That's right. So before we do anything, we're going to ask ourselves, what would Jesus do?
I better go see what's keeping Mr. Allen.
This tape comes in handy for everything, doesn't it, Mr. Allen?
Mr. Allen, the children are here.
Okay, I'll be right down.
Mr. Allen, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry, Mr. Allen. Someone will find you in a day or two. It's a ridiculous sweater. Now to get those kids under my control so that Bible Man is forced to do my bidding. We'll see what happens to their enthusiasm when I act like a mean, angry, temperamental director. I don't have to pretend to be angry and evil. As the master of misery, arch enemy of Bible Man, I'm already all of those things.
Okay, who wants the part of Tony?
I do.
You're already Alex.
I'll play the part of Tony Miss
Okay,
Hamilton.
Taylor, you play Tony. And what about Jane?
Oh.
Why don't you play Jane? And what about Ted?
My naughty pet. You're naughty. You're naughty.
Why don't you play Ted?
I'm naughty. We're both real naughty.
Okay, what about Billy? You have a Billy? The boys? Why don't you play Billy? Play Billy. Pass that back.
This'll be a loud and costly disaster. Then I'll blame the children for it. I've always found it most effective to combine noise, expense, and blame.
This doesn't appear to be a high-definition camera.
Amy, Taylor, don't touch anything. Come over here, join the group.
Sometimes a catastrophe alone can make people frightened and angry with God. But I found that if you throw in a good measure of guilt, well then, I've really got them in my clutches.
Let's see, who is playing Alex? Okay.
Well, here goes.
Don't move.
All right. Who did that?
I don't know. We've all been together right here.
Nonsense. Lights just don't fall over on their own. Someone's responsible.
Hey guys, how's it going? Can I be of some help?
It's Miles Peterson. He's Bible Man's friend. Is Bible Man coming?
Oh, great. It's that oh so meek and humble Miles Peterson. What a loser.
Excuse me, but you're not Mr. Allen, are you?
Of course I'm not Mr. Allen, you ninny. I'm replacing him today. He's all tied up right now. I'm Miser. Yeah, Miser.
Oh, well, it's very nice to meet you, Mr. Miser.
I don't know how anyone expects me to work with these horrible children. They've already damaged the equipment.
That's not true. It has been my observation that Mr. Miser has not been following our code of conduct. What would Jesus do?
Well, he does seem a bit angry.
Of course I'm angry. They just broke some very expensive gear.
Jesus never got angry like that, did he?
That's a very important question, young lady. But more correctly, we should ask, with whom did Jesus get angry?
Oh, leave that Jesus out of this.
Jesus got angry with people who were in positions of authority and didn't honor God or care for other people. They made him very angry. Bible Man gave me this biblical remote control unit. And in cases like these, I think Bible Man would want us to go directly to the source, the Bible. Matthew chapter 21, the triumphal entry into Jerusalem and following.
Hosanna in the highest!
Jesus entered the temple area and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves.
It is written,
He said to them,
my house will be called a house of prayer. But you are making it a den of robbers.
In Matthew 15, Jesus got angry with the Pharisees for trying to get his disciples into trouble. Then some Pharisees and teachers of the law came to Jesus from Jerusalem and asked,
Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? They don't wash their hands before they eat.
Jesus replied,
And why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, honor your father and mother. And anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. But you say that if a man says to his father or mother, whatever help you might otherwise have received from me is a gift devoted to God, he is not to honor his father with it. Thus you nullify the word of God for the sake of your tradition. You hypocrites. Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men.
Jesus called the crowd to him and said,
Listen and understand. What goes into a man's mouth does not make him unclean. But what comes out of his mouth, that is what makes him unclean.
Remember, kids, God doesn't get angry with people because they make mistakes. We all do that sometimes. Jesus got angry with people who thought they were better than everyone else, or people who think they don't need God. That's what makes Jesus angry.
That's it. I've had it. How is anyone supposed to work in this kind of environment? It's like working in a zoo, for crying out loud. I'm going to demand we get these kids out of here.
Am I to assume the production is canceled?
Oh, now remember our motto. We're supposed to act like Jesus.
Yeah, I bet Jesus never cried like that.
Actually, Taylor, there was a lot of things that made Jesus sad while he was here with us. People being sick made him sad, and when people didn't trust him or believe in him, that made Jesus sad too.
Oh, Jerusalem. Jerusalem. You who killed the prophets and stoned those sent to you. How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord."
And you know, when Jesus chose to die on the cross for our sins, that was a very sad time for Jesus too. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them,
Sit here while I go over there and pray.
He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them,
My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me.
Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed.
My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will.
Then Jesus returned to his disciples and found them sleeping.
Could you men not keep watch with me for 1 hour?
He asked Peter.
Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
He went away a second time and prayed.
My Father,
is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it. May your will be done.
When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed the third time, saying the same thing. Then he returned to the disciples and said to them,
Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour is near. And the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise. Let us go. Here comes my betrayer.
While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs sent from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them.
The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him.
Going at once to Jesus, Judas said,
Greetings, Rabbi.
and kissed him. Jesus replied,
Friend, do what you came for.
Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for his sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear.
Put your sword back in its place!
Jesus said to him,
For all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen in this way?
At that time, Jesus said to the crowd,
Am I leading a rebellion that you come out with swords and clubs to capture me every day? I sat in the temple courts teaching and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled.
Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. And so you see, kids, it's our sin that makes Jesus the saddest of all.
Rats! Foiled again. This isn't going the way I planned it. Those Bible passages are making the kids think about Jesus instead of me.
Mr. Peterson, are we ever going to get to see Bible Man?
Amy, honey, don't be so impatient.
No, that's all right, Miss Hamilton. I'll go see if I can find him.
Here's my chance. Okay, everyone, up against the wall. You're mine now.
You scoundrel. This looks like a job for Bible Man.
So, are we afraid yet?
We need Bible Man!
It's too late for him now.
Stand fast, kids. You don't have to be afraid of him.
Whoa, will you look at the time? See ya.
Yay, Bible Man! Go get him, Bible Man!
This time you've gone too far, Misery. You've become just like your master, the devil.
Why, thank you.
1 John 3:8 says, he who does sinful things is like the devil, because the devil started sinning from the beginning.
You've got to be kidding.
I'm a man in tights. Do I look like I'm kidding? The Son of God appeared so that he could destroy your master's evil plan.
Why do you care what I do to these weak, worthless little brats?
Matthew 10:42 says that if someone gives even a cup of water to one of these little ones, then I tell you the truth, he will certainly not lose his reward.
So, it's a reward you're looking for, Bible Man? How's about joining forces with me? There's a lot of money in evil these days.
Ephesians 6:11 says, put on the full armor of God so that you may stand against the devil's evil schemes.
Ow! You're nothing without the Bible.
Well, that's the first nice thing you've said to me all day.
Now what?
You leave.
Oh.
Yay! That was great, Bible Man! Yeah! Bible Man, given that we are trying to imitate Jesus in all we do, is our happiness appropriate at this, juncture?
Absolutely, Taylor. What made Jesus really glad is when children came to him. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked,
Who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
He called a little child and had him stand among them. And he said,
I tell you the truth. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Look here. Then little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. Jesus said,
Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these.
Look at this. The blind and the lame came to him at the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and the teachers of the law saw the wonderful things he did and the children shouting in the temple area, they were indignant.
Do you hear what these children are saying?
They asked him,
Yes.
replied Jesus.
Have you never read, from the lips of children and infants, you have ordained praise?
You see, kids, what makes Jesus mad is when we don't care for one another or honor God. And what makes Jesus sad is when we don't believe his word or trust in him. And what makes Jesus...